we're here today for a signing of a historic landmark transfer agreement between LSU and Louisiana's community and technical colleges. Our students now have a guarantee as a result of this agreement that if they graduate with an associate degree with a 3.0 grade point average, member of Phi Theta Kappa, those students have guaranteed admissions at LSU and up to $3,000 scholarship. So a great opportunity for our students to have a clear pathway to LSU.
How many students will this benefit? Like, how many are actually there that can, use this?
Today that pathway has about 1,400 students a year that are graduating with PTK status, and so we anticipate that number is going to grow over time, but certainly we look forward to every one of those 1,400 having that opportunity in the coming year and look forward to it growing.
Well, thank you very much, and certainly this is a great day in Louisiana to see really full articulation and transfer of credits from not only community colleges but throughout our higher educational systems. And I truly believed all of my legislative career that we should give credit to students that earn the academics necessary to receive a college credit hour. So this agreement today is certainly historic in nature. It's one that many of us have looked forward to for many, many years. But I can tell you to serve for this governor, knowing his dedication to education in this great state, from kindergarten all the way through higher ed. And I assure you he's going to do what's required to stabilize this budget and stabilize higher education as well as K through 12. It's been quite a pleasure and an honor. So thank you for being here today, and we think this is not only the beginning of great opportunities in our state, but also an opportunity to see that our children, grandchildren, and others receive the credit that they're due from higher education. Thank you.
Thank you. To all of the guests who have joined here today, to the members of the board, to our governor, thank you for taking the time today. Very important event for our students, and this is a governor that I think all of us have come to know as not only a higher education governor, but a governor of the students, and one that when students gather, where two or more gathered, I believe, he will gather with them, and we're thankful to him for that. To our chancellors, thank you for taking the time to be here today. We also have with us Heather Schmidt from the Phi Theta Kappa organization. Where's Heather? Did I miss her? Thank you so much for all the work. In fact, I have to tell you, 2 years ago at a scholarship event, it was Heather who presented the first transfer scholarship to a student from a community or technical college to LSU, and it really paved the way for our event today. We also have with us a student, Victoria Guitro. Victoria, you with us? Very good. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. This is all about you. And so occasionally you get those events where it's all about you, and so we're thankful to you. I also want to say thank you to the folks who really rolled up their sleeves and worked on this agreement. You'll hear from Rick KOUBEK a few minutes from now, but I have to tell you, he and Paul Carlson spent a lot of time working together to accomplish this agreement, and I'm thankful to both of them. To King Alexander, a guy who gets transfer. I have to tell you, a couple of years ago, we would not have been standing here today talking about transfer and an institution, our flagship institution, our state flagship, reaching out and wanting to have transfer students be a part of their campus community. King Alexander gets it. He's a guy that's done this before in other places and saw an opportunity to create opportunities for our students right here. We have about 1,400 students enrolled in community and technical colleges that are part of Phi Theta Kappa every single year. They are our best and brightest. And we look forward to having them have a place at LSU every single year. Those students graduate at a rate of about 88%. Now, I want you to pause for a second and think about that. 88% of those students who finish an associate degree are members of Phi Theta Kappa, finish a baccalaureate degree. I think more universities would like to have those kinds of students on their campus every single day. And King Alexander understands that. He gets it, and we're appreciative to him. We also want to say a special thank you to our Board of Supervisors, to the members of the LCTCS Board who have been so very supportive of transfer throughout. In a state where workforce demands are so great, sometimes transfer can be drowned out. But I have to tell you, this board, our administration, the chancellors, we all understand the importance of transfer to a student who may not have the opportunity to go off to Baton Rouge for the baccalaureate degree to begin with, but instead has a chance to start at their local community or technical college, earn those credits so that they can transfer and finish that baccalaureate degree. It is the American dream, and we recognize it as such, that students have that opportunity to go off and earn the baccalaureate degree, to earn a good living for they and their families? How often do our citizenry have a chance to watch a great baseball game like last night and dream of being a part of the LSU experience? This morning, excuse me, you're right. This morning. We're all sort of rubbing the sleep out of our eyes. You know, in the past, we have had a circumstance where our athletes were welcome at LSU. Our baseball players, in particular, were welcome at LSU. Today marks a change. Today, going forward, the students who perform academically are now not only welcome at LSU, but guaranteed admissions and guaranteed a scholarship at LSU. I want to say thank you to everyone who has joined us today. Thank you to everyone who has made today possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, we've got a problem in Louisiana. We've got a big problem, and we're way behind in one particular area. And I'd like to thank Monty Sullivan for agreeing with me from the beginning that this is a statewide problem. The states that have the best 2+2s in this country are states like Florida, California, and Illinois, where upwards of 40 to 50% of the students transfer. I bet you didn't know that Senator Marco Rubio is a 2+2 graduate. Went to Santa Fe Community College, then to the University of Florida and got his baccalaureate degree, and then at law school. Bet you didn't know that Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger is a 2+2 graduate. Went to Santa Monica Community College and finished at Wisconsin Superior as a 2+2 four-year graduate. You'd be surprised at all the 2+2 graduates that are out there today. But this is our problem in Louisiana. Only 6% to 10% of our students have the pathway or see the pathway to move on to graduate to a four-year institution. That means the option isn't really available to them like it is to many other students in many other states. It's not a pathway that they're sure of. And also it's an economic consideration, and that's why we're here today to sign the Honors Promise Transfer Scholarship signing, of which for all Phi Theta Kappa students that are graduating from our community colleges that have the right courses that have been on the pathway that are graduating, we will provide up to a $3,000 scholarship to each and every one of those students going to LSU. We want to improve this pathway. We want to make sure that these students have access, have the choice to either go into the job market when they finish or have the choice to go on to a four-year institution. And I'd like to dispel an important myth that's out there. A lot of people think the reason they didn't go to the four-year institution was because A, they couldn't get in or they didn't have the qualifications to get in. That may impact some of our 2+2 students, but quite honestly, life gets in the way for many of our community college students. And in fact, if you look at the national data, including our own, what you find out is our 2+2 transfer students graduate at a higher rate than our freshmen that start in a 6-year graduation pathway from freshman year to senior year. That's not just in Ohio, that's in California. That's not just in California, it's at LSU. Our 2+2 students graduate at a 2% higher than our freshmen that start as a freshman year at LSU. At LSUA, our 2+2 students that go on to LSUA from a community college or technical college graduate at a 9% difference, 9% better. We know these students are motivated. They've already demonstrated that by finishing what they've started in the two-year institution. We want to make that pathway much more clear to them, to know it exists, and to work with our LCTCS and Monty Sullivan and work together to make sure that this is an option for them from day one, by providing additional options for the right reasons to support our students and to encourage access to every family member in this state. We must do better in this 2+2 as we go forward. And we've talked about this as being low-hanging fruit because we aren't doing as well, nearly as well as we should. But as we go forward, we look forward to working with these students, the Phi Theta Kappa students, and we're going to hold a place for you at LSU. And we're going to provide scholarship assistance up to $3,000 based on need. And we want 2+2 students. This state needs more 2+2 students. And we are pleased to be signing this agreement today and very pleased to work together with LCTCS to clear an even greater pathway for our students that start out at our community and technical colleges and then want to pursue a college four-year degree at LSU. So I'd like to thank Phi Theta Kappa, I'd like to thank our students, and know that we want to make sure you know you have another choice, another option, and that we leave it up to you. You can go into the job market or you can move on to a four-year degree. And we want you to know that pathway is clear and it's right in front of you, and we're going to provide economic assistance to these families and to these students that need it. Thank you very much. Rick.
Well, as President Alexander said, this is about choices and our opportunity to provide our citizens of Louisiana with more than one pathway to walk across the Pete Maravich Center at graduation day. And what's also interesting about this, it means that the students don't have to make a choice. They don't have to choose between a community college and starting at LSU. They can get the benefits of both. As the President mentioned, many people that started in a 2+2 program, I'm one of them as well. I spent my first 2 years at community college, and this has been a personal mission for me since I started here at LSU 7 years ago. So I want to thank Monty and President Alexander and Paul for their support to make this a reality today. Thank you.
Thank all of you for coming out today, and it's always a pleasure for me to talk about something that's exciting, that's new, that's of creating more opportunity in the state of Louisiana for people right here to be successful, and that's what we're talking about today. Victoria, you're going to benefit from this collaboration, and so I want to thank you very much for what you're doing. I want to thank President Alexander and President Sullivan for being here today. But before I go on, I want to talk just a minute about Ben Never. Several years ago, when I was on the House Education Committee, I went to an SREB conference, the Southern Regional Education Board conference in North Carolina, where they held up as a model for all of the states in that compact in terms of articulation, some legislation that he had passed, making sure that credits counted throughout the higher education system here in Louisiana. And so this today is an offshoot of that, Ben, and I want to thank you for your leadership on that. And why is this important? Too many of our kids are not, I shouldn't say kids, adults. Too many of our young people, whatever they are who are accessing higher education, are not making that transition even when they want to, between our 2-year institutions and our 4-year institutions successfully. We have to do better. I met a few weeks ago with the Lumina Foundation, and where we're losing ground to our sister states is not in the number of people that we're enrolling and successfully educating and training in our community technical college system. It's in our number of 4-year graduates. And we are losing ground to our sister states that are going to be more competitive in the years to come. And so we have to do a better job of making sure that people make that transition successfully between community colleges and our 4-year institutions. I will also tell you that for those people for whom life gets in the way or they simply change their mind about what they want to do, reverse articulation is also important. So that if someone starts at LSU and decides for whatever reason, you know what, I really want to go to BRCC and get an associate's degree, or I want to go get a certification in some field, that they're also able to do that. So that also is incredibly important. Why? Because while government cannot be and should never be in the business of guaranteeing equality of outcomes, we've got to guarantee equality of opportunity. And that's what this is about. This is about making sure that there's real, meaningful opportunity for people in Louisiana to access higher education and do so successfully. I ran for governor for a number of reasons, but chief among them is this one. If the people of Louisiana decide that for some reason they want to leave our state to pursue an educational opportunity, to get a good job, have a rewarding career, we should bless them, wish them well, and send them on their way. But if we have people in Louisiana who decide they have to leave in order to pursue an educational opportunity, to get a good job or have a rewarding career, we are failing those kids. We are not going to fail people in Louisiana, and this program represents a step in the right direction where we're making sure that we're doing right by them. So I want to thank all of you for the work that you've done, and I know that since we started, Commissioner Rallo came in. I want to recognize you and thank you for your work as a Commissioner of Higher Education. I see Marty Chabert has joined us from the Board of Regents, as has the Chair, Richard Lipsey. And so they joined us after we got started. I want to point them out and thank them for their work on behalf of the state of Louisiana. Education is critically important for our future. For 8 years, we led the country in the disinvestment in state general fund support for higher education. For 8 years, we led the country in terms of increase in tuition and fees. And I inherited the largest budget deficit in the history of our state. That makes it very difficult for us to do the things that we all know that we need to do right away. But I am committed to fixing our problems. We're not going to keep kicking the can down the road. We are going to put our state on a more stable path forward, where we are going to stabilize, and going forward, we're going to strategically reinvest in our critical priorities as we are able to do so, and certainly higher education is a prime candidate for reinvestment as we rebuild Louisiana. It is for that reason that in a couple of weeks, we're going to be in a second special session. And I hope you all will join me and urge that we all work together in order to be successful so that we can do all sorts of things in Louisiana to better serve the people here, whether it's healthcare, whether it's K through 12, whether it's housing, inmates, building roads, you name it. But we also have to shore up higher education. It's time that we get back in the business of supporting higher education in Louisiana with state general fund dollars. And we can't continue on this road of double-digit tuition increases year after year after year that threaten the future viability and sustainability of programs like TOPS. I am absolutely committed to fully funding TOPS. We need to do that. That's why we're going to have a second special session. But we need to make sure that we're funding all of our critical priorities. And I'm not interested in giving someone a top scholarship to attend a university that is going to be declaring exigency, because we didn't do what we should have directly for that university either. So while we have plenty of challenges, I am extremely optimistic about our future. I am bullish, and I want you all to be too. I want you to share my enthusiasm, but right now, share my resolve to fix our problems. And fixing our problems, part of that is doing more things like we're celebrating here today, this collaboration between LSU and the Louisiana Community and Technical College system. And we need to see this replicated with the other systems as well.
Does this only affect students graduating now, or does it affect those that have already graduated?
No, it will be going forward. It will be for the current year students, and it will be going forward. So if a student graduated in May and has that opportunity to enroll in the fall, certainly they will qualify, but it would be for all of those students going forward as well.